Bonjour à tous mes patients et bienvenue à votre rendez-vous avec le docteur Ferdinand Emiel. Laissez votre stress et vos soucis à l'extérieur, versez-vous un verre de votre boisson la plus réconfortante et installez-vous confortablement pour notre session. So I had a friend look over just the Sennaar playlist that we have so far, just to offer, quick and easy feedback. I'll admit it was a bit embarrassing, but I figure I have to learn to put myself out there, and I have to get used also to people watching. Right, his first point, and I quote, was, "Don't worry about me watching your content. I really don't want to see your face any more than I do already." Thank you for thank you for that. I love you too, you bastard. His next piece of advice, or anyway, his next point was that no one will believe you're French, and that was why I changed the intro a bit, only for this time, really. But the way he was saying it is that it sounds like I have a fake accent, and in a way, I suppose that's a good thing, because I admit I am forcing my accent a bit. I am using these appointments to improve my English, and to me, sounding more natural is a part of that. So I'm trying to kind of force a more natural pronunciation in a hope that eventually it becomes a habit. And well, if I did let myself go, this is how it would sound like. And I figure practice makes perfect, so I may as well make a habit of it right away, as I said. And he also pointed out a few other things as well. And honestly, it felt a bit like, when you're spell checking an essay, there are things that are quite obvious once they get pointed out, but you don't really notice them yourself until they are pointed out. But I won't really get into all the details of it. I just want to play the game, and so, let's get started. What I have noticed, I didn't really study this time, because actually what we did was we filled up pretty much every new page that we got, so there wasn't much for me to study. But what I did notice was for this page here. Now that we have the word for abbey, this one here that I was referring to as the tower, the building, I think I want to change that to mean more, because I did go, I went online and I checked the actual definition for an abbey, and an abbey is simply a place where monks live, and of course it's looked over by an abbot, and so it's just a collection of buildings in which you would find the church as part of one of the buildings. And so that makes me think the single unit here would be simply either a building or I will put it as a courtyard, but I mean courtyard as in the inside of the abbey more than just an open space. And this here is, it's a page that is so early in our notebook that I feel we should have everything for it really by this point. And what I have noticed is that I'm so fixated on the key and on, the bird kind of opening a cage with a key. I've been so fixated on that I have never really tried to use any other word in here. So we'll keep what I had in mind the first time, where this one is a negative or a stop. We'll use this one as kind of just an interior for the city, and I mean, we will try with the only other word that has nothing, that I have nothing for, because these two, we kind of know what they are. This one we don't, and I don't think I've ever used it in here. And there you go. It just makes sense, but how... I don't feel like it's been used enough that I would have figured out that it means free if it wasn't kind of this trial and error thing. And honestly, just having this, well, now I see this one here, I'm not too sure why. Maybe because it's the access to the higher levels are inside the abbey. Not as good, that's the negative, but free. I'm not even going to go back and try to see if we missed information with it, quite simply because it's a word that's been used so few times that it won't even give us any more new information. But now I'm very satisfied, I'm happy, it looks clean, we have everything filled in, and I'm loving this. Now this man here, so I did have a plan for today. This was one of them, filling up that page, and this is the other one. So this man was telling us, and I realized just as we stopped, even before I edited the video, he says to go to the garden to see the preacher. But last time we only went to get the key from the garden, and I completely forgot about the preacher himself. So we're gonna go back to the garden. We'll try to find see what the man there has to say, and hopefully that guides us somewhere. But now I realize, well, there you go. Preacher is not in the garden. His headdress is not the same. I can't find the preacher. The plants are dying. I don't like dying plants. No one likes dying plants. By the way, I mean, if you've been following me for a bit, you know that I've gone back to work by now. My vacation ended last week, and you can all wish a very warm welcome to the, I suppose, natural state that I am in, which is the permanently tired version of me. So I'm just going around in circles here. After all these years working at night, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but although my state might change in terms of being tired, my face won't, because that's it. I have permanent eye bags. I am the dark circles and eye bags I have under my eyes are now permanently etched in my face. But in a way, I mean, I guess we could see this as a... Does that give us a new page then? I guess you could see this as a money saver in a way, where it's like a natural tattoo, so I don't have to worry about putting any tattoos in my face. Not that I would, believe me. I have enough for the moment. You can see the one on my arm, of course, but I have quite a few more that are not visible. And I will say, it is completely true that once you get one, you will want more. Seeing object. I found seeing object. The seeing object finds God. Going to the cemetery, I'm going up the preacher. And see, this, I'm trying something here. Well, trying something. Now we have the key. So I'm doing something that my friend told me about, that he noticed I did a lot. And that is, as I'm talking, as I'm going through ideas, well, that's beautiful. As I'm going through my ideas that are unrelated to the game, when the game is running, I will stop myself and go about what's going on in the game. And then either I lose my train of thought, or it kind of interrupts whenever I talk. So he told me, and it makes perfect sense. The game is running for everyone, right? So don't interrupt yourself. People can see what's happening. You don't have to narrate everything you're doing. So if you just finish your ideas and then go back to the game. All right, I wanted to check because there was a man here. A devotee was talking to another man here, and I want to know if there are any. Right. That doesn't give much information, and as I can see here, new words. My guess is that this is another kind of like the warrior. It's another caste, another class. And I suppose eventually we'll figure out their language and then we'll be able to complete what's happening. And that's why he's kind of making that face, taking that stance here. He doesn't understand. And I assume, that's the point of the game, right? We have to help people communicate. So we'll make them understand each other. So let's go back to the graveyard because that's where the action will be. And I noticed as we were scribbling in the notebook, in that shed or whatever, that the seeing item is this. Now, what can we do here? Also, while we're going through this, I'll let you know about my return to work, which was quite difficult. I'll be honest. Luckily, because I started on a Sunday, I only had a half week. But right before I went back to work, just a couple of days, I have a friend who opened a golf simulator place. I don't know how you would call that. It's basically a big room with booths and a screen that you take your shots at, and then cameras track your movement. So screens and cameras track your movement, and then you hit on the screen and it kind of simulates the shots that you would take. So I went there. It was great. Technology seems absolutely amazing. It's crazy what they can do now with the tracking. But I have mentioned I have tendinitis. Maybe now, actually, now that we have this, we came here. I don't think we followed well, here I go, breaking my ideas again. But let me finish my thought here. So we did not really go through the normal steps. I think we're supposed to come here first, and then this tells us to go to the church. So that's what we'll do, because now I realize the seeing object kind of it looks like the symbol that was on top of the three rotating cylinders or blocks, whatever you want to call them, in the inaccessible or blocked off section. So yeah, I tried. I mentioned I have been carrying a tendonitis for quite a while, and that I played for about an hour and a half, and it brought that tendonitis right back, front and center. And well, as I'm back to work, I really don't want it to impact my work too much. It's on my left hand mostly, or almost exclusively, I should say. But as you can imagine, I have not kept up with music practice, really. Because I will try. I mean, I won't fully stop. I won't wait for things to be perfect. Because if I do, it will take too long. But I have not played any music this week. I won't be playing next week. So, you know, so much for using these appointments to... so much for using these appointments for accountability and for keeping up with my practice. Alright, so it gives us phrases or sentences. We are making progress. Whoops, this one was already in the right place. It said, the man looks at the devotee looks at God. What's next? Nothing to see here. Not that I even look remotely close to them. But, well, I suppose they're colorblind. Red and green. That's a very common one. God watches... looks at the instrument. Now, my question is, because this one is the symbol for music, they use this one as instrument. Is it... oh, that... okay, that... I get it. I was going to say, does it specifically mean a musical instrument? But yes, it absolutely does. But what this gives us is it gives us exactly how to solve the puzzle in the graveyard. It said, man looks at devotee looks at God looks at the instrument, and then it says the preacher talks to the man. Amazing. Now we make our way back to the graveyard. After scribbling some notes. Well, makes sense. You want to make sure the player doesn't need to take screenshots or doesn't need to remember the whole way down, right? While we're going down there, how about we talk about... since I'm back to work, let's bring work into this, right? Eye bags. Do you guys know how eye bags form other than because you're tired? Why do eye bags come around when you're tired? So, eye bags are basically, it's a buildup of fluid, it's puffiness, and dark circles are caused by, so that's the preacher. Dark circles are caused by blood vessels being more visible under the thin skin of the eyelids, right? So when you're not sleeping well, a reflex that we have, if we're tired, our eyes burn a bit more, so just a simple explanation, you rub your eyes more. And God looks at the instrument. And so rubbing your eyes on thin skin, of course, makes the... you know, it creates redness, creates a bit of inflammation, and that's where you can get some puffiness. That's how you can get redness, and redness can translate to dark circles. At the same time, there's an increased production of cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone, it's a wake-up hormone, if we can call it that. And the way, some of the ways cortisol acts on the body is that it promotes, it increases the heart rate, it increases blood pressure, and it also encourages the kidneys to retain more water, to increase blood volume. What that means is, of course, if you have more blood volume, you can have more edema, so edema. You have buildup of fluid in certain parts of the body, including under the eyes, where you would get your dark, your puffiness and your eye bags. And well, if you get increased blood pressure and if you get increased heart rate, then blood vessels are more apparent, and that's where you get your dark circles from. Well, Preacher's dead. That's unfortunate. And he was the one taking care of the plants, so now I guess maybe it will be our job, or maybe the person who was oh, right. I suppose that was a clue too. I'm right-handed, so for some reason it feels more normal to start on the right side. I don't know, but that, I guess the torch was the lamp was the clue to say that the preacher was on that side. So cortisol being the main culprit, there's also another factor that can increase cortisol. Also, I'm following the pipes here inadvertently. When you're more tired, you tend to drink more coffee, and caffeine absolutely increases cortisol levels. So that's another way you can kind of encourage, I suppose might be a word, your the how would you say, the volume, or you can have more puffiness, more dark circles under your eyes, and at some point they truly can. I know I was joking saying they're permanently etched in my face, but at some point dark circles do get, I'm just gonna turn around here, dark circles can get, and puffiness of course also, they can get permanent. And we're behind the soldiers now, or the warriors. Nice. Let's not waste too much time because I want to see the next level. And that's what the priest wanted to do, right? The preacher, he wanted to go up. The Great Escape. We just got an achievement. Superb. I wonder if it's going to change color, because right now we can see it's red in the bottom, but it's blue up here. I love how they've done this. It really shows us, or it gives us a sense of scale. And there's no music, there's just some soft wind. Listen to that. I'm loving this. Loving the view, the vibes. We are definitely in a new world now. So one of them is probably a word for the devotees. But I will study these after I'm done editing this video. I will take notes. I will keep you in the loop. If you follow me on Twitter and on Blue Sky, I will be posting my my studies, and I will be posting what I'm thinking about for what we have so far. But for now, since we're in a new zone that has a completely different vibe, different color, it feels almost sci-fi in a way, whereas the other one felt much more, I don't know if medieval, but low tech. This one feels almost like it would be, it would make sense in a spacefaring civilization almost. Maybe it's the blue, who knows. And these columns give me a very, very big Fifth Element feel. Once again, going through puberty. Beautiful. But anyway, we're in a new zone. We cleared the devotees. So I think we'll call it a day for now. So I hope you have been able to make the most out of today's appointment. And as always, until next time, remember to slow down and to take care of yourselves. À la prochaine!